So we're back with Alex, a.k.a. Lydia Burrell. I'm so sorry. I have this issue where it's like even when, maybe I even said this to you last time, but even when people have like fake Instagram names, like a lot of like punk kids will not want to put their real name on Instagram. So then I always forget their real name and I just refer to them as like Plastic Bag Man or whatever their Instagram handle is. So you will forever be Lydia Burrell to me. Well,
that's good. I'm doing I like to think I'm doing a long, like, social media experiment of how to have, like, the most arbitrary and strange online presence that I possibly can, where I have people who know me as Howell Doughty, people in my life know me as Alex, and then there's a bunch of other people who know me as LB or Lydia Burrell from Twitter. And the overlaps are getting more and more confusing and complicated.
You're just a small group of people. You shouldn't be allowed to gather with all of your various personas right now due to the...
Oh, wow. It's due to COVID-19. I need to tighten up my brand because I'm in danger of infecting the other personalities, which are all just me. I don't even... the most I change my voice for any of this stuff is I have a Twitch stream under Howell Doughty and a radio show wherein I'm Big Howell Doughty, who just has a slightly more country accent than me.
So good. I love it. It's like you're like the master of disguise, basically, but with usernames.
Yeah. But with completely arbitrary distinctions in things.
Because Lydia Burrell also, it was like a band or something, right?
Yes.
But I only think of it now as personally at this point in my life, much better than a band. Just endless threads of cringy YouTube content, that's what I live for, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot easier than writing these like heartfelt songs that I guess I was doing under the name Lydia Burrell when I started the Twitter account, and I still write. I focus much more on the comedy stuff that I do under the name Hal Doughty, but I'm still writing Lydia Burrell songs. I should have another Lydia Burrell album out sometime. I don't know. We haven't figured out when it's going to be released.
But do you find like that's what I find is like, for example, on Twitter, I'll be listening to one of my friend's bands and I'll be loving it so much. And so I'll just post the link and no one will click on it at all. But then if I just post like poo poo or something, then people fucking love that shit.
Yeah. People definitely like a stupid post or a bit of found stupid footage. So much more than they like your original heartfelt content that you spent, months writing and you produced yourself and you mixed it yourself.
So much of yourself into it.
Yeah.
It's great. But so basically, for those who haven't heard you on the pod before or aren't aware, one of your many specialties is finding kind of the worst moments of human expression on YouTube via the song parody medium. And so we had you on the show to talk about some Blink-182 Thanksgiving parodies, but now you've started working on yet another masterpiece thread, which is kind of the COVID-19 song parody thread.
Yeah, it's been a real trip. It's been going on so long now that I feel like my relationship to the thread has changed more than it ever has before. I did the pumpkin spice latte thread of all people rapping about pumpkin spice lattes. I did a Thanksgiving parody song videos. I did a bunch of Christmas song parody video threads. And this one, I can remember like right around when things started to go down, let's say. Jordan Ewell from Twitter sent me a direct message, and he was like, "Hey man, where's the COVID-19?" Or I guess at that time we were all calling it coronavirus. Where's the coronavirus parody thread? And I was like, "Oh man, I hadn't even thought about it yet, but that's a great idea." And I looked, and all of them were like they were from other countries. Like they were, okay. I actually don't know if I'm thinking of Malaysia or somewhere, but there were there were a ton that all seemed to be from the same part of the world, that all had the same sort of aesthetic, which was thumbnails and big bold text and like a very chaotic, choppy editing style that was not usually what I do is like goofy homemade white guy rapping to like a Tupac song that's about a burrito or whatever, like that's that's usually what I'm looking for, and I couldn't find anything like that. And I was like, man, I guess people just are too scared or nobody's doing it or something. And then a couple days later, it just blew up, and they've been coming in. I mean, I would say like every 20 minutes, somebody is dropping a new coronavirus parody song.
That really says something about kind of humanity. It's like, because I'm just assuming, because I don't know where exactly these other videos were coming from, but perhaps the virus had already hit in those countries, and so that was a symptom of the virus spreading, was that the bad parody videos were coming. And so basically one could have forecasted that this was going to happen just based on even the global toll of infectees.
Well, listen to Nate Silver over here. He's figuring out. You're going to solve the whole. we're gonna know that we're on the other side of the curve when people stop making these videos.
Exactly. So,
which actually means we can will the virus into submission by just not doing any more of it.
Just stop talking about it. It's like when we used to say that about people interviewing alt-right guys all the time. Just stop it and they'll go away. Like, stop playing your ukulele about the coronavirus, and then it'll stop.
And they stopped talking about right-wing guys, and they all went away. It was amazing.
It worked.
It was so good.
But okay, so at what point in your journey? And I'm curious. You said you've kind of had a different relationship with this thread. Like, has this one been particularly tough? Is it getting less fun as you go?
Oh no. Every day it surprises me and shocks me more and more. And I discussed this like the last time I was on. I think I discussed probably ad nauseum what my exact love-hate relationship is with parody content, specifically on YouTube, where I'm obsessed with it, and I love it, and I absolutely love finding the best little 20-second sliver of it to show to someone else. But it is also mind-boggling that so many people are so invested in making so many terrible things when they could do literally anything else. And with this, I've found that there's something about, usually they're seasonal, or they're related to a product. And there's always, with parody songs, there's always beats you have to hit. There's always things you have to mention. If you did a song about CVS, you'd have to mention the long receipts, that kind of thing,
Right. Yeah.
Where, and so, for instance, with the coronavirus thing, because it's a topical phenomenon, what's really strange about it is it's so crazy. We're all terrified we're going to die. People are getting a cold and then going into the hospital and dying. But for some reason, everyone's buying all this toilet paper. And so all of these songs have to have a verse about toilet paper in them. Even though that's not even though that's an absolutely insane part of this weird, legitimately scary phenomenon. So it's so there's one in particular in the thread, and this is why I'm saying this as an example of why it continues to surprise and shock and also frankly delight me as I look for these videos. There's one that is a parody of Living on a Prayer that's called Living on a Square, that is essentially just a song about being out of toilet paper that a guy made as a coronavirus parody, where it's a video, and it's one of these great ones where the video is shot on the phone. He's sitting on the toilet. It's one shot, and he's literally just singing along to his computer audio that's coming through the phone, and he's reading his own lyrics off the computer as well. So it's he just one and done, just did the minimum amount of effort, which I love. And the song, he makes mention of Wuhan. He makes mention of like someone eating a bat, of course. He talks about the specific things you have to do to get to. I'm making a coronavirus parody. And then the rest of the song is just about him taking stinky shits and how he has to like wipe his ass with a single square of toilet paper. And it's just so bizarre and such a crazy response to a genuinely scary thing. But yeah, I definitely have a more complicated relationship with these because there's something so beautiful and crazy about that, but also something horrifying and awful about that.
Right.
At the same
I mean,
time.
I guess it's like the extreme lack of pretense that comes with being so willing to be a dork. Like this is the truest form of human expression happening right now is these YouTube parodies.
Oh God. Wow. Yeah.
But
well,
anyway,
and the other thing is it's everyone. It's old people doing rap parodies. It's young people doing Disney parodies. It's old people doing like Disney stuff. Like if you made up a combination, if you picked a demographic of person, a genre of music from any era, and said, okay, now plug coronavirus and toilet paper into that, I can find you that video in 5 minutes. Like everyone is doing it, with every type of thing.
And yet, strangely, so many people went to Blink-182. And so that's why we're here. We're going to hop behind the paywall right now. You've got a whole list of Blink-182 coronavirus parodies. Strangely, for some reason, most of them seem to be "What's My Age Again" parodies, which hopefully it'll make sense to me why that's the song everyone goes to. Not that I know what
buddy,
else it would be. But
I got bad news for you, man. It seems to be a completely arbitrary choice. Well, I guess we're gonna talk about the all the small things one. Or the two,
absolutely. Yeah. So right now, if you want to hear the rest of this, you got to go to patreon.com/Blink155 and bring your toilet paper. This is a terrible little. I'm just trying to be topical. I'm getting hooked on this idea. Now I want to be the next great coronavirus viral content creator. You know.
I mean, you'll be. If you do one, you'll be interviewed by the local news in 2 days.